What's up, softball players? In today's video, we're going to go over some mental training tips for pitchers. Obviously, in fast pitch, there's a lot going on, and the big thing is having a mental checklist for every pitch where you can review what you're going to do so that it's automatic by the time you've chosen your pitch, and then you're mentally clear to execute. So we'll talk about what you think about when you're outside the circle, when you're inside the circle but not yet on the rubber, and then what you talk about or what you think about when you're on the rubber and are about to make your pitch. If you're new to my channel, I'm Coach Dan Blewett. I do tons of softball throwing videos, strength training, arm care, mental training, all that stuff. So if you're new here, definitely hit the subscribe button and stick around because I got lots of content for you if you're a softball player and you're serious about the game. Okay, so again, we're gonna cover mental training tips for pitchers in their pre-pitch routine. So there's three zones that we're gonna talk about here. So number one is what you think about when you're outside the circle, what you think about when you're inside the circle, and what you think about when you're on the rubber and you're about ready to make your pitch. So when you're outside the circle, this is like, say you just gave up a hit or you just got an out and you just got the ball back. This is your time to think about the big game situation. So this is, what inning am I in? How many outs? Where are the runners? What do I need to do on a ball that's overthrown? Which side do I have to cover the bunt? Who's coming up? Who's on deck? What's the situation? All that big stuff, okay? Then once you get inside the circle, because you've already figured out what your movement is, where you're gonna back up a base, where you're gonna go if you get a comebacker, what the score is, what the situation is, all that stuff was outside the circle. Once you've figured all that stuff out, now the funnel is gonna narrow, and now we're gonna talk about the hitter. So again, quick review of what is the situation. So is it second and third and no one out, and this is their three hitter? Who's on deck? What have they done today? Are they 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, or are they 2 for 2 with 2 doubles? Who's up at the plate? Are they big and kind of slow? Are they a power hitter? Are they a small player who's maybe gonna lay down a bunt? Are they gonna, are they a slapper? What are they doing? What kind of player is this? What kind of day have they had? And what have I done against them as a pitcher? This is where I'm saying, who am I fighting next? And what can they do? What have they already done? What do I know about them? And how am I probably gonna approach it? This is where I'm thinking, okay, this is a big bopper. I've got a place to put her because it's second and third, no one out. I don't have to give in, and it's a really critical situation. She can definitely hurt me on an inside pitch, so I'm gonna stay away from her. She doesn't handle off-speed stuff well, so maybe I'll start her off with a fastball away, and then as soon as I get that first strike, I'm gonna change up her to death, whatever it is. This is where you're thinking about your strategy, and also just the last little bits of like, what do you not need to forget about the situation, whether it's, all right, this runner might take off, or I might have to be ready for a bunt, whatever it is. This is the last stuff, very little situational stuff, mostly focused on the hitter and what our approach is gonna be. And we have to get rid of all that game stuff and then the pitching stuff so that when we step on the rubber, and this is our most important part, we don't have to think about where we're going with the comebacker. We don't have to think about what we're pitching. We've already decided, all right, I'm looking for my catcher to put down change up away. So when I step on, I'm shaking until I get my changeup away, and now I have only one thing left to think about, and what is that? That is executing my pitch. When I've already thought about all this other stuff, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm not worried about any of that other stuff. I already know what I'm gonna do. I know where I'm gonna go if the ball's hit, over here, over there, right at me, whatever. All I have to do now is focus on the pitch that I've chosen and executing it to the best of my ability. That's what the best pitchers do in both softball and baseball. They go through their checklist, they go through their analysis of the hitter and what they're gonna do. They decide what they're gonna do. Then they get on the rubber, and then they're completely mentally clear and they execute. Because when you're cluttered and you're about to make your pitch, so you're about to start your delivery and you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, what am I gonna do? Or what happens is you get a comebacker and then you're deer in the headlights and you're like, I don't know where to go with this ball. Those are all things that young players do until they figure it out. And the more you start to go through your checklists, the more you get better at them. You quickly can just look at the field and say, okay, I know I'm doing this, this, and this. You don't even think about it. For me, at the end of my career as a pitcher, I didn't have to really think about any of this subconsciously. It was a habit. I'm just looking around like, okay, I know what's happening. I got this bunt to this side. I don't have to think about it. And then I just get on and I'm clear and boom, I go. So the more you do this stuff and you go through your mental checklist, the faster essentially your computer, if you think of your brain as a computer, the faster your processing speeds become, the more automatic it becomes, and the more clear you become when you get on the rubber, and now you can just execute your pitch, which is ultimately your only real job as a pitcher. You do everything you do to choose an intelligent pitch, and then you execute as best you can. Then you rinse and repeat, and that's your life on the mound, all right? So hopefully this video helped. I think it's really important, all these mental strategies. Obviously, we are not robots. We are living, breathing, thinking things with emotions, and there's a lot of stuff to keep contained. So when you go through this stuff before you get in the circle and before you get on the rubber, you're gonna maximize your chances of being mentally clear and execute your pitches as best you can. And then when you go one pitch at a time, you're gonna have great games, piecing them together with really, really high focus, okay? Thanks for watching. I'm Coach Dan Blewett. If you wanna learn more about what I do, I have online courses. Check them out in the video description links below, and I'll see you in the next video.